Hi everyone. Before our episode, I just want to throw out a trigger warning for scenes of sexual abuse and really intense content. This movie and episode is for mature viewers only. Take care of yourself always and skip this episode if needed. We're going to link some resources and hotlines in our show notes. Okay, bye.
Take out your pens and your Indian ink. This is Diary of a Teenage Girl. So today we have on Mary Arndt. Welcome to the show, Mary. We know each other from, this is like the fourth guest I think we've had on that I've just randomly met on the internet. And I'm like, hey, come on our podcast. But you know what? We're 4 for 4 on guests, so you're next in line. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I have observed you on the internet in a Facebook group for a very long time. Big fan of your work. You rule
Thank you.
a comment section always. I'm always scrolling through to see an actually smart remark in the comments from you.
Oh my God,
Lindsay,
don't gas
I'm
me up.
excited to chat with you and get
it's
to know
nice
you.
to meet you.
Thanks, and thanks for having me on the pod. This is so
Wow. Comment queen confirmed. Thank you for
Yes.
that. I needed that. I'm blushing. So are you working on any projects right now? Is there anything you want to plug up top?
Just always chatting on my Instagram at I Just Want to Chat. That's where all my TV and movie recommendations live on that page. My Substack, there's a free weekly newsletter. If you just go to wantachat.substack.com, you'll get an email of everything coming to theaters and to streaming for that week. It's just a free newsletter. The I Just Want to Chat TV Club is coming back soon. That's really exciting. And yeah, other than that, just watching a lot of stuff and excited to chat about it.
Fun. And what's your movie origin story? Do you consider yourself a cinephile? I mean, I think you're in cinephile territory with your online and media presence. How did you get into it?
I think I consider myself like a lover of movies. I don't know why I feel like hesitant to say like straight up like cinephile, even though I am at the AMC 2 to 3 times a week.
Period.
But I'm just a lover of all media. I love pop culture. I love celebrity culture. Love TV. Love movies. Love it all. I Just Want to Chat about 8 years ago. And
oh, wow.
It began as a Bachelor recap podcast because my husband was in grad school. I had this like brand new like newborn baby, and I was just at home with her all day instead of like I'd worked full time. And then I had this baby and I just had to be at home with her, and she like didn't talk because she was an infant. And I was like, I'm actually dying. I need some kind of like thing that has nothing to do with my baby and nothing to do with my husband. So I channeled all that energy into the Bachelor franchise.
Amazing.
Which wasn't great because then the Bachelor like started to suck after a couple years. But really,
you came in at the right time.
Yes, but really my true love was pop culture and like celebrity and that stuff. So then I started changing my whole like online presence into pop culture. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, I really like started to pick up like a love of film as a hobby. Like, and I really, it started off with me just watching something and then loving a movie and then watching everything that actor had done and consuming all the podcasts and all of like any like cool like Hollywood memoir or something I could pick up. So I really like grew into not just a love of pop culture, but like a love of film and the art of all of it and the industry and everything. I don't know. So for the last like 3 or 4 years, it's been pretty much like TV and movie focused over on I Just Want to Chat, but still a lot of like celebrity deep dives, a lot of Taylor Swift recaps. Because we all have our passions.
Such a good title. It's so like cheeky. I just want to chat.
I just want to chat.
Thank you. Because it is true. I just can't shut up.
And you never have to. That's why we only let women speak on our podcast. So
thank you.
You are in the right place. I was at a film festival this past weekend and I met 2 guys. I haven't told you this, Lindsay. But I met 2 guys who were in town for the Full Frame Festival. And they were like, oh, yeah, like, what kind of, like, guests do you have on? And I was like, not men.
sorry to say, but not really.
Not yet. We're holding space.
The time will come.
I was at CinemaCon last week. Not for
You
the,
went to CinemaCon?
and not for the full experience. So I live in Vegas, so it was just like down the road. But I was able to go to the Lionsgate presentation and then a couple other like events around it, and
Oh my
went to some
God.
stuff. And I did meet these people, and they were three men, and then like we were just kind of like chit chatting. I was really like making the conversation go, and I was like, "Oh, did you hear about like this and this?" And then the conversation moved over to that David Fincher, Quentin Tarantino, Cliff Booth sequel news.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they like felt like they had to educate me on who David Fincher was, and I was like, "Well, I mean, I do know, I do know."
Oh God.
It's always so funny. It's so funny.
That just like gave me a migraine. Okay, that pissed me off.
I
Did
mean,
you
and
know
it's
about
fine.
the movie Seven? Shut the fuck
Oh
up.
my gosh.
Actually, David Fincher. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
one of my favorite directors. I know who he is.
Like, yeah, I'm familiar with the work. Yeah. Yeah.
He's only made like 8 of the most popular movies ever made, but sure, yeah, no, yeah. What's The Social Network? I don't know.
Yeah, so it's always funny.
Is it? It's
I mean, I'm
something.
like, whatever.
It's something.
Yeah.
So
brings
what
brings us into this movie actually.
Yes.
this movie is something. So
I have to tell you guys. So, when I was first talking to our lovely co-hosts on here about me coming onto the pod, it was like, "Oh, what could you talk about? What movies do you like?" And I just gave her like my super non-cinephile rundown of like, well, I love Titanic, I love Mean Girls, I love the Twilight Saga, I like what I like. One of my favorite movies ever is Diary of a Teenage Girl. Didn't really think anything of it because it is legitimately one of my faves. We'll get into it. And then you guys said like, "Oh, you would like to talk about that when you've never seen it." Perfect.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies. I love introducing people to it. But I never really thought about the implications.
Oh, Mary.
Oh wow, that
And-
makes so much sense.
Oh my
and
God, you had us in shambles.
I don't know if you guys can ever resonate with this feeling, but you know when you like see a funny TikTok or a funny YouTube video and you're like, "Oh, I have to show like my best friend this," and then you're like then watching it with them and you're like watching their reaction. I rewatched this movie last night to prepare for this because I'm like, let me just make sure I have all the scenes down. So then I felt as if I was watching it with you guys in the room. Mortified.
Thank you.
That I would ever bring this filth upon somebody. Like, I am a Christian woman.
Oh my God.
And I mean, again, a fantastic movie. I love this movie. And it means so much to me. It means so much to me. And even last night, I fell in love with it a little bit more. But also just straight up horror. Because I'm like, I didn't even warn these women. I didn't even warn them.
Babe,
Oh
So
my gosh.
sorry.
we needed a trigger warning real bad.
Fantastic film.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad you feel that way, or that like you're saying this right now, because I was
You were putting
so,
us at ease.
Yeah, I was
we were concerned.
so like not sure how to navigate talking about this movie at all. But man, that's crazy. Like not
No, I almost
could,
sent you guys a text like late last night, like 11:30 my time. So like you guys would have like gotten it way late.
Yeah,
Then,
what,
if you guys
1
would have
a.m.
jump
or
shipped to
something?
anything else, I'll allow it. Give me an
Oh
assignment.
my God, no.
that's so
It's-
funny.
Thank you for yeah, your thoughtfulness and seeing it from a different perspective, because yeah, seeing that through our eyes, like you said, I'm sure you were mortified. And I put it later on, but it's not that this was like, this is a great movie. It's just extremely hard to watch.
It's a horror movie, actually.
It kind of is,
is,
and
Yeah.
it just yeah, I felt like my heart rate was accelerated the whole time I was watching, because I was like, oh man, this girl is in so much danger and she's being so taken advantage of, and I don't know. We'll get into it.
Diary of a Teenage Girl, 2015. It's Coming out. Oh, not coming out. Uh, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's a coming out movie too. A coming of
Much
age
to consider.
story directed by Mary Heller. He acted in The Queen's Gambit, and she directed Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
And she
Perfect.
recently just did Night Bitch.
Oh, that's right. I saw that
Oh.
with Amy Adams.
I forgot to put that in the notes. Yes, she also did Night Bitch, which I haven't seen yet. Have you seen it, Lindsay?
No, I've just seen like like
Like all the press
that.
about it?
Yeah, the
Mhm.
ads.
I
and
really
stuff.
didn't like it.
Oof,
Oh.
yeah.
I actually like got angry at it.
Oh no. Oh no.
That kind of was how I felt with this movie. So that's
Yes.
some parallels.
Yeah, I think she makes if we're gonna put a spin on it, very provocative work. Let's say that. Yeah, very yeah, just provocative. So this movie stars Belle Powley as Minnie Getz, Alexander Skarsgård as Monroe, Kristen Wiig as Charlotte Getz, Abby Waite as Gretel, Madeline Waters as Kimmy, and Chris Maloney from Law and Order SVU
So
as
random.
Pascal, their ex stepfather. So yeah, this is it's about a 15-year-old girl named Minnie who lives in 1970s San Francisco. So, as soon as this movie started, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna love this. I love Almost Famous. That's one of my favorite movies. I was like, oh, I'm in. I loved Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I was like, yes, I know what's happening. I'm so happy. This is gonna be beautiful. Um, and then like you said, it's a horror movie because probably about 5 minutes into this beautiful like 70s like kind of suburban story, we realize that Minnie is involved in a sexual relationship with her mother's boyfriend, who is 35 years old and played by Alexander Skarsgård. Um, so most of the movie covers their manipulative relationship and the repeated, sexual assault of this young girl. And it covers her descent into drug experimentation as well. So yeah, this was a rough watch.
Yeah, I think I split it up. I had to split it up to watch it.
Yeah.
Valid.
Did you did it in 2 days, 3 days? How did you split it up, Lindsay?
I might have done it in 3 days.
Wow. Yeah. So about like 30, 45-minute chunks
Yeah,
at a time.
I was like watching it before my weekend, and I was like, hold on, this is not the mood that I want for my weekend. Let me break this up a little.
That's so real. That's so real. I watched this on a Sunday night, all in one chunk, with one of our best friends, Kate, who we traumatized deeply with this work. So,
Oh
thanks,
no,
Mary.
poor Kate.
Give my apologies to Kate, but I just want to say again, great movie. But yeah, you have to be in like a right headspace. And also I just feel like, I don't know, maybe like not to get like too real. Luckily, like I've never dealt with the things that she deals with in this movie, thank goodness. But a big like running theme of it is just kind of she's being taken advantage of because her self-worth is so low and she's looking for love anywhere she can find it. And I feel like that was a theme that I was really able to like resonate with. Like, so this was always like one of my favorite ever since I saw it like 6 years ago, I think. When I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is not me again, thank goodness. But so many of the themes of just trying to bend to whatever anybody else would want because your own self-worth or whatever, like I felt like it was a true like diary of a teenage girl, which is so sad but also true. I don't know.
I see. I see. Yeah, I know. I think you're spot on there. It's these things have and do continue to happen to a lot of young people all over this country, especially girls. And I think with the internet and like even easier access to people, and cell phones and whatnot, it's even more. I don't know if it's more prevalent or if it's just more reported, but it's yeah.
Totally.
This one was hard. This one was hard, but
Yeah.
like I said, it is a beautiful movie. I'm very excited to talk to you about it. Did you I know we like to frame our discussions around like a theme, and you picked up on the theme of like low self-worth and trying to like look for love wherever you can find it. Did you have any other themes that you pinpointed from this movie? Because you've seen it a few times,
Yeah.
right?
And also just, I mean, to me, it really is my favorite like coming of age film. Like when I watch Minnie in this movie, I just see a girl who's trying to find herself so much and trying to find what she wants. She seems like she's like in the school that like values academics and she doesn't value academics at all. She'd rather be an artist. She's very motivated by her art and her
Mm-hmm.
passions, and she has all these feelings and she feels like she just has to make like video recorded like video diaries. Like she has all these things that she wants to get out and she's just kind of trying to find herself. So I don't know. Like to me, again, while it is horrifying, it's like a perfect coming of age. Like this is a girl who was on a quest to find herself, and she now knows so much more about herself now than she did in the beginning of the movie. And it just kind of like is like a beautiful, horrific journey to
Right.
watch.
That's a good way to put it. It's like a really rough journey of self-discovery.
Hmm.
I love that. What about you, Lindsay? What were some things that you picked up on for our
Well,
first watch?
to go off of what you're saying, Mary, I like that it's very specifically like a coming of age story for adults because little girls should not be watching this. But
No,
there's
no.
there's like such a difference of like coming of age for like teens, and this one is very much adults only. Um,
Agreed. Agreed.
Hmm.
but
Woo.
every single theme overlaps with each other in this movie. But
Mm-hmm.
I put down impulse and humiliation and
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
self-development and reflection.
Yeah, the humiliation aspect is really interesting. This was a very what are those called? When you get like secondhand embarrassment. This
Yeah,
was like
Hmm.
a
yeah.
very hard like
Hmm.
secondhand embarrassment movie where you're just like, oh my God, like because she's so young and so inexperienced and she's such like a raw nerve. Like she's very her emotions are very, very close to the surface, Minnie, and she's very I don't know, she just feels very like edgy, like she could snap at any moment.
Yeah, yeah.
So
She has no self-control.
no impulse. Yeah, no impulse
Yeah.
control. So yeah, this was like a lot of like pretty much every scene you're watching her, you're just like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think, yeah, those are really good things that you picked out, Lindsay. For me, I said that this is a story about sexual desire, um, even if it is very wrong. At the beginning of the movie, there was that like very natural and rational and healthy desire to be sexual. It's just where she turned it to and where it was turned upon her that was the problem. But it's about yeah, sexual desire, neglectful parenting. Um, we'll get into it, but Kristen Wiig plays her mother, uh, Charlotte, I believe is her name,
Yeah.
and oh God, this is painful. I've known a lot of Charlottes where I'm from, you know, like small mountain town, just like, you know, this, we call them, I don't know if you've seen, you're all over TikTok, Mary. I'm sure you've seen it. The cigarette moms.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
God, she is the cigarette mom.
She is so, oh my God. She is like textbook cigarette mom, just a mess, wasted all the time, like can't keep her job, like, you know,
Always
just
having
very
adults over. Like I don't know why, but this
lots of
viewing of it,
partying.
This viewing, like, really, I mean, each time I'm more, like, terrified by something else that happens in
Mm-hmm.
this movie. But this time
Mm-hmm.
I was like, she had a revolving door of, like, just adults in there all the time,
All the
all on
time.
substances. And, like, poor
Yes.
little Gretel, the even younger sibling, what was Gretel
I
up to this whole
know.
time?
She's what, 9, 10, and she's
Yeah.
watching her mom coked out cleaning the house, like half naked in the middle of the day. Just like, oh my God. Yeah. The parental, I'm sure as a parent, Mary, you're like, oh, just
Oh,
couldn't imagine. But
yeah.
this was a tough movie for the moms. The moms ain't it in this one. I mean, neither are the fathers, honestly, but
Yeah.
just
Wanted to.
the parents overall, horrible in this movie. And I know that relates to a movie that you'll recommend later, Lindsay, especially. It's just wow.
Mhm.
Um, and then the last thing, speaking of the mother's behavior, and Minnie and Charlotte's relationship, I put mother daughter tension,
Mm.
and that time after you kind of you're like late puberty and you're like growing up, and I don't know if you had this too, Mary, but I feel like it's very common where you just like look at your mom and you're like, you ain't shit. Like, there's like this need to like, I don't know what's called, like electro complex or whatever, where you're like, oh, I'm the HBIC now. Like
Yes.
I'm a free woman. You can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna wear makeup and I'm gonna talk to boys and I'm gonna do whatever. And the 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 way that Minnie was constantly like, I felt like she really, by the way she was acting with her mother's boyfriend in this movie and the way that she treated her mother, I felt like it kind of swung back and forth a lot between like, I want to be you
Yeah.
and I want and I hate your guts, at the same
Mhm.
time. What did you think about that, Mary?
Yeah,
Like
I
their
mean,
relationship?
at the end when Charlotte finds out about Minnie and Monroe, and the jig is up. It's so interesting, and Kristen Wiig plays it so well. Where like you don't know if she's pissed because some guy has been sleeping with her daughter, or if like this is like someone that was just sleeping with her boyfriend and she's pissed because of that. Like that's such a like a razor's edge like way that she plays it. Like because you can see her like mid sentence changing what she's upset about. Like, and it
Yes.
seems like she is mainly upset that, like, this was my boyfriend, you betrayed me, instead of, you're my 15-year-old daughter, why was this ever happening? And, like, when she says, like, did you start this? I was like, oh,
She blamed her
yeah,
Yeah.
immediately. I was like, she is a child.
yeah.
She is your child. She was so complex. She was
Yeah.
very textured, She was like this classy librarian
Mm-hmm.
who was
I also,
also like this trashy cigarette mom who was also like this, you know, desperate, aging woman who just wanted attention from her boyfriend, but also like totally like neglectful mom sometimes who just like never gave a shit what her kids were doing or where they were. And she was so complicated.
yeah, there was something still so likable about her, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, she seems very familiar to me. I think
Yeah.
that's what I'm picking up on. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I know. I knew a few of you in my time,
Yes.
the Veronicas, the Denises,
Denise.
Tammy. We all know a Tammy or two.
Well, I think there was the one part where the ex talked about how he thinks Minnie is like weirdly sexual with the mom. Do you guys remember
hmm
that?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Christopher Maloney's
Yeah.
character, their ex stepfather, confronts Kristen Wiig's character at one point and says like, it's kind of weird the way she always wants to like kiss you or touch
Yeah.
you, you think?
Yeah. I think
And I
that
feel like
just,
that like broke their relationship in a
Yeah.
weird way.
I think it just goes to show she like really wanted to be her, I think,
I think so
for the
too.
most
I
part.
I think she was just like deeply, deeply jealous of her mother and wanted, like, she looked up to her. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, as you're supposed to. I mean, naturally, but it's like she wanted to, it was like a competition,
Yeah,
but
it was so, like,
also
obsessive.
admiration.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and she just wanted adulthood so
Mm.
badly. Like in general, like right after she loses her virginity, she's like, "Do
Mm-hmm.
you think I look like do you think that I look different? Like does this mean I'm an adult now?"
I'm
She's
a
like
grown up
always
now. Yeah.
yeah, like tracking like her physical developments and everything like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think not only like did she want to be her mom, but like I think she just didn't want to be a kid anymore.
She's, yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, I think I had that in my notes as well. Just like this compulsion to like rush to adulthood that I did find that part very relatable for sure. Where it's
Yeah.
just like I'm tired. I want to have autonomy. I want to have control. I want to have self-expression. I want to be able to drive, have money, like
Hmm.
e- express myself. That part, I think that was the most relatable Minnie's behavior was to me.
Yeah.
So I know we already kind of got into it, but is there anything else you wanted to say about why you chose this movie or why this is your favorite coming of age story?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I probably covered most of it, but I really, I keep saying the word horrifying, and I'm trying to come up with other adjectives that don't scare people away from watching this movie because, again, I think it really is fantastic. But, like,
Right.
besides the like horrifying nature of like the sexual relationship between Monroe and Minnie,
Hmm.
there's just so much of the story that just resonated with me in the same way that like other like not fun, slapsticky coming of age stories hit me. Like, I feel like I have a lot of the same affection for 13, which is a movie we might talk about later. Where
Oh,
like
for sure.
that's also another horror show, but there's so much of that I like relate to again with just like this wanting for rebellion and wanting to act older than you are. I don't know. I'm 30 now and I have 4 kids. I'm far away from my teen years, but I I don't know. I remember that so much like just being like a high schooler and just wanting to like be older and be more in control and like hearing about sex and stuff and wanting,
Hmm.
like everyone has to snuff out all their feelings about that, like as you grow older.
Oh, for
So the
sure.
way that it was
It's like a
portrayed,
discovery period.
yeah, like the way it was portrayed in this film just seemed so honest. And although Minnie, um, she lacked a whole lot of like impulse control, as we mentioned earlier,
Hmm.
it was so enlightening to see like no filter, like these were her thoughts. And like
Straight up.
that resonated a lot. And watching it happen to somebody with like no shame around it, I don't know, like very like this movie has like its comps, but it is also in some ways like completely singular. Like I can't think of a movie that is that open and honest about like sexuality and growing up, and it seemed like she um really wanted to like be a sexual being but not so much for other people around her. Like this was just something that like she felt like within herself. I don't know, but I
No, that's
yeah,
great.
I love this movie.
Yeah, I love that defense of it.
Yeah.
You've won us back over. No, we were never out. We were never
My only
out.
mission.
Mission accomplished. But yeah, so do you remember the first time you saw this movie? And how did you come upon this movie?
So tale as old as time, I very much like hyperfixate on different actors and different, again, that's like what really got me into film. um where I would
Right
like
here.
see something. All started years ago with Adam Driver and Girls, which is funny because I feel like Hannah Horvath could have been like Minnie in this movie, like grown up, like the lack of impulse control and
Whoa.
like all this stuff. Like I feel like it's a continuation. Hannah Horvath is like one of my favorite characters of all time in any media. But anyway,
Wow.
I was like
They're,
in a
yeah,
girls
they are
rewatch.
very similar.
I was in a girls rewatch and was like, oh my gosh, Adam Driver. Like it hit me for the first time. And then I watched every single thing that he'd ever been a part of, including like the crappiest, lowest budget indie movies, horrible, horrible things. And then I was like, you know what? I just watched so many movies I never would have seen. I'm going to do this now whenever I like somebody. So watched Big Little Lies when it was first coming out. And then
Mm.
I fell into Alexander Skarsgård induced madness.
I see. Listen, it gets the best of us. It
An
happened to me too, babe.
an out of body experience, truly.
Oh my God.
I do
He's so
recommend it
gorgeous on that
to
show.
anyone. And one of the worst things about this movie is that although he's a monster, he's so dang hot in this movie. He's
Yeah,
so
it's
attractive.
He is
But
so beautiful. Oh my God.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
I watched All Big Little Lies, and then I watched True Blood, and then I think it went Melancholia, and then this movie. And I was like,
okay. So it was
so I was
the
just
big
going down the IMDb.
the
Like,
Big Little Lies pipeline.
yeah. So like first it starts with the with the Nicole Kidman Big Little Lies, and then you're watching a 15-year-old get assaulted.
Oh my God. Oh, ain't that
Slippery
how it
slope.
goes? Yeah, literally. I mean, yeah, and also he assaults Nicole Kidman in that show. He is a
He's
little too good at playing these characters, I fear.
I
He scares me.
I would love for him to play a decent person. I
Right?
don't I don't know when it will happen, and I think that he's extremely talented. He cannot play anyone decent. It's like he's allergic to it.
Thank you. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my God, why can't you just play like a hot normal guy
I
just
know.
once?
But
I want to root for you.
funny, I've been reading the new, I promise this won't be a tangent, but I've been reading the new Hunger Games. I don't know if you guys are like into those.
Oh,
I've been
no, but yeah, I talked to Kate. I think she's gonna start the next one.
it's so good.
I love
Um
the movies. I've just never read the
yeah.
books.
I don't even like I read the books like in high school, but
Hmm.
I have been reading the new one and like President Snow is like 50 something in this movie and obviously Kiefer Sutherland should be Snow because his dad was Snow in the older movies. But I
Oh,
really
right.
think it should be Alexander Skarsgård. I think he could play that evil
Oh,
guy
oh
just as well.
oh, that's a good fan cast. I
And
like
like
that.
the younger one in the last movie, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, when he was
Hmm.
supposed to be like 20, he was super
Yes.
hot in that movie. So age him up, have him be a hot guy again. No offense to
Okay.
Kiefer, not
Yeah,
super hot to
Kiefer's a
me.
little. Yeah, me neither.
Doesn't he have like some problematic something? Am I dreaming that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no.
Okay.
He basically has gotten like kicked off or fired on like everything he's been on. Like he somehow keeps getting jobs, but yeah, Kiefer Sutherland is like always a
I,
problem. Um
they say it might be Ray Fiennes, but I'm pulling for Alexander Skarsgård.
he's a little old. I mean, how old is oh, see, no, we're going on a tangent. Nope.
Yeah, he's supposed to be in his 50s, and
Okay.
makeup exists, so I don't know. They can
Okay.
figure it out.
I was like, wait, tell me more about what Snow's age is in this movie. Like, what's.
No, I'm the worst at tangents.
It's okay. I am too.
Anyway.
that's what this
That's why
podcast is.
literally this whole podcast is a tangent
Just all
of
of our thoughts.
us talking about
Exactly.
movies and being like, hey, so let's get microphones.
I really, really liked a lot of aspects of this movie, especially on her growth, because growth is not linear, especially for Minnie.
Preach.
But I loved her ability to not shame herself and like look at her actions without judgment, especially with her friend. What was her friend's name?
Kimmy. I love
Kimmy,
Kimmy.
yeah.
Kimmy is such like a non-judgmental friend.
Mhm.
She yeah, great character. I want to talk about Kimmy a little bit more later.
Yeah, so I can unfortunately relate to some aspects of this movie and something about like watching her go through her abuse and like seeing her resilience through it all. Like I think especially with her like writing her cartoons and coming up with the whole fantasy truly was how she was surviving
Hmm.
and not explicitly like talking about that, but just like showing her escape. That was very beautiful.
I feel you there. It's tale as old as time, but yeah, those of us who grew up in abusive environments, escaping through media. What? Who does that? Couldn't tell you. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I think I wasn't I didn't draw or anything, but I did write a lot and do and watch a ton of movies. I've been a movie kid since as far back as I can remember. So yeah, that aspect of her kind of coping with things and like still maintaining her like sense of humor and her like
Yeah.
passion
Mhm.
and her
And
creative
her
outlets.
fashion, she had
Oh,
such good fashion.
beautiful wardrobe.
I loved
She,
watching this movie. It's
Yeah.
so
yes,
Mhm.
it's beautiful to look at. Just her wardrobe, she ate it up. But yeah, even though she is dealing with so much, like you said, Lindsay, she's still so cool, you know, and
Yeah.
like wise and really kind of, even when she's like floundering, she's still she's got a good head on her shoulders, I guess. I think Minnie, I think she'll be all right. And I love that finally, after like an hour and a half of suffering, we do get that to that point where you're like, oh, she's gonna be okay. Like I think Minnie went through so much at such a young age, but I think
she'll pull
Yeah,
through.
she's gonna be okay.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I really liked her as a character.
Well, okay, do you guys, I think she definitely was addicted to sex. You
Mhm.
guys agree?
I think so. It was like it was definitely like it felt compulsive.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't, even when she wasn't necessarily enjoying it, you know, it was something, I think she said like I need
But
to be touched. I
was it
need to
addiction to specifically Monroe and like the whole idea of like getting to be with him and like role playing maybe
Mhm.
like
I want to be
Yeah, what
careful when I say this because I don't want to make it sound like victim blaming or anything to her because obviously like she was totally taken advantage of, groomed, everything, but I felt like more she was addicted more to like the affirmation of like being able to be the sexual being that this guy would want.
hmm,
Mhm.
And even like with her classmate and stuff, like when she teaches him like kind of how it goes, like I feel like it wasn't so much like the sex. I feel like it was maybe more so, and it very well could have been the sex, but my read on it has always been like, again, like that searching for love wherever you can find it and wanting to be wanted, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think I think that sounds right to me too. I think it's really, I like that we get to listen to a lot of her diary entries too, and like
Mhm.
hear her inner thoughts. I thought that was so important throughout the story to kind of like be able to check in with Minnie, you know, as all of these things are happening to her and like around her. Um, I think from her perspective, she, I don't want to say she felt like she was in control. I don't know how I want to word that, but
I think like being that age and watching like from her perspective kind of she's like, oh, I like this man wants me, I'm everything. But then like watching it as an adult and you're like, oh, like he's a loser and this is all he can get.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um
Ugh.
I
Yeah.
don't want to skip ahead, but there's a scene that happens towards the end of the movie that is one of the most like cathartic moments where you see
Woo!
it click in her mind.
yeah.
I
Where you're like,
cheered. I
thank
cheered. I was like, oh,
goodness,
thank God.
the
Yeah,
spell has
literally.
been broken.
Yes.
Oh my God. I was like, thank God. Thank God. It's like you can see her like consciousness come back
Yeah.
online and she's like, oh,
Just a
this dude
tiny,
fucking sucks and he's ruining my life.
Hmm.
just a tiny bit of that frontal lobe was
Woo!
developed that day.
That first
Just a
little
little bit.
that first little sliver. Oh, sometimes that's all you need,
Yeah.
Mary. That little bit to be like, what am I
Actually,
doing?
Well,
Woo.
I listed it below, so we'll talk about it soon. But
Okay.
curious what you guys think about Minnie and Gretel's relationship.
Hmm. As a big sister who is very close to my younger sister, and has, I think, an even bigger age gap than they do, My little sister's 12 years younger than me. I can't imagine having that type of relationship with my sister. I'm sorry. I could never be me. She treated Gretel like garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like normal teenage girl stuff. But me as a parentified child, I would never do my sister like that. I felt so bad. I think I saw a lot of my, like, Chloe, my sister, in that character. Like, I remember her being that age, like 9, 10 years old. And I thought she was like the funniest thing in the world. And like, I always wanted to hang out with her. Then I was like 20. So like, I I always, Lindsay and I have talked about this before, but pretty much anytime there's a big sister who's like treating one of their younger siblings like shit, I hate it. I can't, I can't stand it.
It's weird, like, I feel like I don't even think about their relationship that much. Like, she was almost just more of a side character, Gretel was.
Yeah.
Really?
Because, like, Gretel
Oh,
didn't really have much really to do there. And I kind of feel like Minnie and Gretel's relationship was just kind of feeding off of like the contention in the home. Like, I feel like the mom and how her and Minnie would kind of, even when they were having like a nice cordial talk, there was
mhm.
always something underlying there, right? Where it was like, we wouldn't kill you to put
Yes.
on some makeup, or why aren't you showing off? I was like very well loved when I was in high school and stuff. Like, there was always kind of this discomfort laying below the surface, even when they were casually talking to each other.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, well, at the end of the movie, Charlotte kind of jokes like, if anybody asks, I'm your sister. And that's kind of the whole dynamic between them throughout the
mhm.
whole movie. And then thinking about like dynamics like that, where a lot of the pressure gets put onto the older sibling to like take care of the younger sibling. And in this situation, Minnie like
Mhm.
rejected that. So she like
Yeah.
hated Gretel.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll happen. There's kind of a split between traumatized older sisters where like half of us are like lean into it and like enjoy our siblings and like have like a good relationship, and then the other half are like, fuck this person, I don't want to be responsible for you, like I should never have had to take care of you in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm 10 or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like it's kind of a flip of a coin of how you cope with that. I went one way, but Minnie with the other, and I still respect it. I get it. Like I didn't want to have to take care of a kid when I was in
Mhm.
like 6th grade, but I was. So she felt differently. Um, I it made me sad for Gretel.
Mhm.
It definitely made me sad for Gretel that she didn't have like a cool big sister who was like who wanted to be around her and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
get her out of some like fucked up situations when she's like Gretel's always around when they're like passed out on the floor like
Yes.
partying and like doing coke just in the middle of the living room or
Makes
whatever.
makes me like
Uh
actually sick. Like, I don't want to be like, as a
oh,
mom,
that
because
poor girl.
obviously you guys all have, feelings. You don't need to be a mom to have like, concern about a child hanging out around adults who are on drugs.
Right.
But oh, I just this last rewatch, I was like, so much of
Uh,
this as a mom is so scary to watch.
yeah. Yeah, I felt bad for Gretel
Yeah.
is the long answer to that question, Lindsay. The whole like pitting women against women thing.
Mm.
Man, Monroe played right into that patriarchy bullshit. When Charlotte started getting suspicious, and she fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. He was like, "Oh, well, how could I want anyone else? You're so sexy, and you're so strong, and you're so whatever, and um, like, why would I want like that little girl? Like, he
Yeah.
just knew how to manipulate.
Yeah, he's so good.
He was
He's
so
so
good at
good
it.
at it.
She immediately was kind of like placated by all that classic like pitting women against women and oh why would
Mhm.
I want her, she's so disgusting, she's too young, like no, you're like just making her feel like she's competing with and also winning, the
Against her
competition.
daughter, which is just so effed.
Devious, deranged.
Ugh.
um cannot believe that, but I also can believe that. it's just that's classic like manipulator, like groomer behavior.
Yeah.
This is a tough Alexander Skarsgård performance. Like it's oh
But
god,
he
it's
like is perfect at it. Which
exactly
is
that's what makes it so tough. I'm like, you
crazy,
were
but yeah,
so
he's
good at this.
so and like
It's
the flirty
scary.
banter moments, like where they're just like fake boxing or like
Yeah.
just
Hmm.
being where I'm like, dang it, he is so charming. This is
Right.
disgusting.
I know. I'm like,
I'm going to
why?
lock my kids up and put them on an island, and we're never going to ever interact with anyone.
Period. I
Yeah,
get it.
that's
I
the
can't
only way, I
even.
think.
Ooh, oh my God, it stresses me out just imagining it. Um, what are some of your, what are some of your favorite scenes in this movie?
I mean, just to go to the moment where it clicks for her is
Hmm.
one of my absolute favorite ones. There's a scene towards the end of the movie, and you can see her kind of get to these points where, like, you can tell she would still do whatever Monroe wanted, and if he was like, let's run away together or something, she'd be totally on board.
Hmm.
But like leading up to this big like climactic scene at the end where they like take the acid and then he confesses his love to her and he's like crying on her and stuff, and you see like actually it click in her brain, her go, oh no. Like
Yeah.
I I feel like saying like she got the ick doesn't even begin to describe like the intensity of this moment. But like
Right.
that was like true cathartic, like because I feel like even in my own life I'll look back at like my high school years or even like
Hmm.
before that or even after, like when I was like post high school dating around.
Hmm.
I'll look back on so many of the times where I'm like, I really like just watched these dumb boys like play Halo for 3 hours, and I just sat on the side of their bed just for
Yeah,
them to do that. Like, what? Like,
girl.
why? Like, how many hours did I spend just watching people play
Ugh,
Call of Duty, like just so they would
don't.
like be pleased with me? And like,
Oh my
I
God,
I
it's so
remember like in high
painful.
school, I would like drive boys anywhere around because I was like one of the only ones with a car, and I would just do all this stuff just for like the affection, the love, the affirmation, the
Hmm.
whatever.
Hmm.
Where of
Hmm.
course, like now with that, with like a frontal lobe,
Yeah.
time, perspective, whatever, I
Yeah.
look back, I'm like, "Oh, Mary, what were you thinking? Like, why did that
I
not click for you
know.
sooner?" And there's something so cathartic about watching that moment on screen, which
Yes.
makes this movie go from like a 9 to a 10 for me, where it's
Right.
like,
She's
it
like,
was,
"Oh, you're a
Yeah.
yeah,
loser."
and like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like her just
Oh.
leaving him in the shower, even like after he's like sobered up,
Yeah.
and you can tell that these are still his feelings.
She's like, "Nope,
And she
I
just,
gotta get out of here."
when she walks out of the bathroom and she just has that like crazed look on her face,
Yeah.
there's nothing
Sh-
better.
Oh, yeah. I
And
was so happy for her. It's like that's like a moment of clarity. Pun intended. It's like a moment of clarity that like every girl dreams for.
yeah.
And that I feel like every like woman wants for the women in their lives. Like
Hmm.
I root for all of my sisters and my friends all the time to like have that moment of like, oh wait, this person sucks.
Yes.
And sometimes it never comes, but normally it does.
Yeah.
Normally it does.
And
I think
then there were
everybody
like,
gets there at a different time.
yeah. And there were so many other, I mean, this movie to me, there is very little I would like actually like want change in it. Like, I do wish that there was a real accountability scene for Monroe instead of that like in the bar embarrassment scene. Like, oh, you have to marry Minnie now. Like, I wish that we had kind of seen more of like a blow up because maybe that would have felt more satisfying.
Yeah.
But maybe it was
It,
more realistic this way. But like any time where she takes a little bit of power back, like when she shows him the hickeys, that is great, so powerful, a
mhm.
nightmare, but so powerful.
Mhm.
I I don't know. There's a lot to love, and you guys I know have some good ones listed. So
Mm, yeah. Yeah, what about you, Lindsay?
I guess I like this scene because of how sad it was or how much it really showed you what type of movie this is going to be or like Minnie's true thoughts is when she was writing her cartoons and she was like, I wish I knew someone who was this happy. I was just like, oh, yeah,
Damn.
she's
Yeah.
going
yeah,
through it.
Oh my God. Yeah, she like saying that out loud is very. I felt like Minnie. I think you said it earlier, Lindsay, but she was just very like brave.
Yeah.
She's
Resilient.
resilient. There we go. Yeah, she's a force.
Yeah.
She is a force to be reckoned with, and she's so even through like being groomed and abused and all that, I feel like she has so much like wisdom, and there's always like 10-20% of her that's like, ah, maybe this isn't the right thing, and maybe I feel you could see her like throughout the movie feel more like guilty and kind of like trying to separate from Monroe and gain like real autonomy over her life. And it was such a relief to see her end up where she did, because I was very worried. I was so worried. Um one of my I don't have one specific. Okay, no. So one of my specific favorite scenes is the big reunion with her mother. Oh my god, when Minnie goes missing after the big confrontation, when Charlotte finds out about what's going on. Minnie disappears with this. Is it a girl from school? Mary, that character?
I think it was like a girl that they met at Rocky Horror, right?
Right. Oh my god. Not them tainting Rocky Horror for
I
us.
know, which is another part of this movie that resonates with me too. I'm like, it really is like me as a teen.
Yes.
Even the Rocky Horror of it all.
Yeah, Lindsay and I just went to Rocky Horror. What was that? Like a month ago?
Yeah, that was so fun.
I've been twice now, maybe three times. I've been 3 times.
That is one part of the movie though that gives me pause, where I'm like, how did Rocky Horror have the time to be like a cult classic that quickly after it's released in like
Yeah,
70s?
what was this like what year did this movie take place? Hold on. 70, I think.
Because isn't Rocky Horror 73?
Rocky Horror is 75, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And this movie is set I didn't write it down. I think it's 76. Oh, I should have put that in the notes. I'm not sure.
I'm sure it is factually accurate. I'm sure many have fact checked that when making this movie. But
yeah, that movie had like at the time this movie was like brand new. So it might have even been the first run of Rocky Horror for all we know. Because it was British, so maybe it was just hitting California. But yeah, they met this girl at Rocky Horror, and then there's like a whole saga of her getting messed up on Quaaludes and hard drugs, and this girl, like, they have like a sexual relationship, and you're like, oh, this is, like Lindsay said, Freudian slipped earlier, it's like a coming out story. Maybe she's a lesbian, like she has this girlfriend now, right? And you think everything's gonna be cool. I'm like, oh, finally she's with a girl now, she's safe, like. And then this bitch takes her to a fucking drug dealer and tries to pimp her.
That was crazy.
They overplayed. I'm like, she's been through enough. She's been through enough.
It's enough. Like, Jesus Christ. I was like, can this girl ever be fucking safe and happy? Please. Yeah. Mary, I was sick. That's when I almost turned it off.
I also kind of forgot about that part.
Mary. I was like, oh, she's got a girlfriend now. Oh, she's a little lesbian.
I'm like, oh, like some queer discovery. We love it.
We love it.
No.
And then she almost gets freaking
trafficked.
Lord.
Yeah.
She almost gets trafficked by this drug dealer. This girl like set her up and brought her over to this, again, much older man's house to like pimp her out. I hate to say it that way, but she was like, oh, look, I brought this like young girl like you like here we go. And Minnie, again, just that little bit of frontal lobe. She was like,
oh, I should leave here.
I'm in danger. Yeah, like I gotta go. Like this, I think she recognized something in that man that she had already seen previously with Monroe. And she's like slowly but surely and like little by little learning that lesson.
Yeah.
And she sees him and he looks at her and she's like, oh, I don't like this. I gotta go. And then she gets reunited with her mother because she'd been missing for days. And it's so emotional. It's so beautiful. The forgiveness that we get to see, and the like understanding and like recognition in each other. Like, hey, we're both kind of fucked up, I know. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you know.
Real quick side note, as we've mentioned, it's so crazy how like she makes so many poor decisions and you want to like grab her through the screen and say like stop doing this, like use your brain for once. And horrificness aside, watching her make audio tapes explaining in detail her exploits with
Yeah.
her mom's boyfriend, like I won't even like it's hard
Oh
for me to
boy.
even like gossip in a group chat with somebody without being like, someone's gonna find these texts. And
I
like,
know.
even though I'm like 30 years old and like accountable to nobody, like I'm still like, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Oh, I think,
No.
yeah, Kate and I had reacted to that once we realized, because it's like old technology, but
Yeah.
I'm substantially older than Kate, so it was like more familiar to me. But like when we realized she was holding a little microphone and she was like talking into it, I was like, fuck.
Thank
Like,
goodness she
oh
didn't have TikTok
no,
back then. She would have been like, story
girl.
time.
Oh my god.
Get ready with me as I go to Monroe's boat again.
Oh my God, Mary, you ain't never lied. She would be documenting all of her statutory rape on the fucking internet. Oh my God. Yeah. That was tough. The reunion with Charlotte was my favorite like actual scene, but throughout this movie, some of my favorite like interactions and a lot of my favorite moments that gave me like respite and like hope and felt very a little comedic relief and just like I don't know, there was something about Minnie and Kimmy that I just loved. I loved their friendship. So I pointed that out in the notes. I was like, Kimmy is kind of like not in a great place herself. I think her mom, Charlotte calls her like white trash or something, but I felt like Kimmy was Minnie's like safe space through a lot of her experiences, and I love stories about female friendship, and Kimmy was kind of like the secret MVP of this movie. She always had a friend to like experience things with who didn't judge her, who kind of took care of her, and like who who she could trust, you know? I thought
But
Kimmy was great.
But also her life seemed horrifying too, because she would just offhandedly be like, "Oh yeah, I've been with the guy I babysit for," and stuff. I'm like, what is
Mhm.
happening in San Francisco in the 70s? We need to
Oh boy.
have that place studied.
Probably.
Yikes.
I know. But yeah, Kimmy, her life was pretty off the rails as well, but for some reason, like,
Still a voice of
just,
reason.
yes, she was. She was in her own way, like
Mhm.
keeping her safe and trying to keep Minnie safe and be her own like conscience and voice of reason and like sounding board and just I don't know. What did you think of that friendship, Lindsay?
Now that I think of it, I think one of my another favorite scene for me was what after they did the sex work and they were sitting in bed and they were like,
Oh,
probably wasn't a good idea, right? And
maybe
then
we shouldn't have done that.
Let's never
that
do that
wasn't a
again.
good idea. And then they learned it and they let go. And they didn't judge themselves. I loved that part.
Yeah, me too. Me
And
too.
also
That is,
Kimmy
yeah.
knowing Minnie so well to say like after they got with Monroe together, her the next morning being like, just so you know, like you don't have to
I
worry about
yeah,
me.
I
Like,
don't love him. I'm
yeah,
not trying to steal your
yeah.
35-year-old
I'm not gonna
man.
steal your man or your mom's boyfriend.
Right. Cuz they're one and the same. Yeah, I loved Kimmy. I thought she was Kimmy's a girl's girl. So I think Lindsay and I have both already talked about our favorite performances, Mary, but did you want to speak on your favorite performance of the movie?
I mean, Belle Powley in this movie, insane. I think that she was 23 at the time of filming this.
Yes.
Um, but she even like her mannerisms, that's always like a word that trips me up every freaking
Mhm.
time.
Me too.
The way she acts is even just so kiddish, even in the sexual situations, which again makes me want to vomit.
Mhm.
But like she played it so earnest.
Yes.
And
And
I
like
know that
awkward.
I know that like the strong script really helped that. Like that was so much of the work there. But she was just so good. And Golden Globe nomination at minimum. I don't know what was happening that year, and I did look at some like Gold Derby and like some other like
Yeah,
archival
what
ranking
happened
stuff.
this year?
She was in the conversation, like in like Gold Derby and stuff. She was ranked like 8.
Oh,
Like in some
okay.
things, like she was in the conversation. This
Mhm.
played at a lot of festivals, but just didn't really like have the pickup. I believe it was a Focus Features
Mhm. I
distributed
think it
movie, and
was.
their Oscar campaigns aren't always like the strongest, especially
Yeah.
probably like back then. But
What was the big Oscar movie this year? 2015. So this would have been like 2016 Oscars. What
so
was going on at that time? I don't remember.
I believe that wasn't La La Land was 2017. Was
Yeah,
that
I think that
Birdman
was.
year?
Oh, I think this was Birdman year. I think you
Let me
might be
see. That was
right.
Room. Um,
Okay, okay.
Oh,
So Brie Larson won for
Alicia
Room that year.
Vikander. Yeah.
Oh, Ex Machina. Okay, so this is like Room, Ex Machina, like
Spotlight
that
year.
time.
It was
Oh,
Spotlight.
Spotlight.
Yeah.
I was like, what was the movie? You know why? Because I've never seen Spotlight. I know, I
If
know, I
you
know.
if you're still feeling sick to your stomach after
I
this
am.
movie and you just want to keep those vibes going,
I don't, but yeah, that's also a tough, tough movie about child sexual assault.
yeah.
But
Great.
from a journalism perspective.
Yeah.
Have you seen Spotlight, Lindsay?
is that with Rachel McAdams?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
And she's like fantastic. Everybody in that
Yeah,
movie's
yeah.
it's a top-notch movie. It's so good.
I do want to see it. I
Yeah. So
as
this was
a
like Big Short year, Spotlight, The Revenant,
mm,
Room.
okay,
There was a
okay.
lot of
Yes,
trauma going on. Maybe the
it
Oscars.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
maybe
was
the Academy was like,
extremely
What's going on in
this
2015?
right? This
yeah.
is dark as hell. This is
Oh my
like
Super
gosh.
dark.
wow. Yeah, so it probably just got buried in the shuffle a little bit. And I've spoken on this before. I can't remember what movie I brought this up on, but I feel like if a movie stars a young girl, it's automatically taken less seriously. So that
Yeah.
holds true.
Well, like
Um,
Alexander Skarsgård, kind of a name back then because of True Blood,
Yeah.
but wasn't kind of like this was a year before Tarzan, if it's
mhm.
2015.
Mhm.
So like
I
star
saw
power
that.
wise, they had Kristen Wiig. Okay. For anyone who follows Del Rey's lore, are you guys familiar?
I am
Yes.
not familiar with
I
this at all, but I
I
am shamefully a Lana Del Rey fan.
okay, I kind of am too.
I've
Okay,
been in the
perfect.
trenches. I've been in the trenches with her since 2011, 2012.
Me too, since the SNL performance.
Yes, like everything Tropico, all of that. And it's funny because a lot of the themes in this movie reflect a lot of her music, right? Of just older men trying to find love wherever you could find it,
Uh-huh.
accepting a bunch
Uh-huh.
of horrible behavior or whatever,
Yeah, being
traumatic
like a
teenagehood.
sensitive artist. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So this movie is mentioned by name in her song A&W, which was
Oh.
nominated at the Grammys last year. It's part of Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? Um, and she reworks the name of the movie like just to fit in syllable wise, but she says like watching Teenage Diary of a Girl. And then she later clarifies in some kind of interview thing that this is her favorite movie because it sums up her childhood, her teenage years.
Woo,
Wow.
boy. Oh,
So the
Lana,
Lana Del Rey of it all. If you listen to
that just made my stomach drop, but it makes a lot of fucking sense.
Off to the Races, the parallels to that song to this movie, the parallels from what is it? Old Money from the Ultraviolence album.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Lana Del Rey stuff that seems like it would fit in this universe, and then she's even
Uh-huh.
mentioned it by name because she adores the movie.
Holy
A
shit. I
problematic
didn't.
figure.
That's why I said I'm shamefully a fan because it's
I
really I can't
She,
call
she
myself a
goes
fan.
so up and down,
I
and she
I don't
has
like to admit it, but I am a slight fan.
I know
ever
I love
since
her
the
music.
question, ever since the A Question for the Culture
Oh my God, Mary, I was
document
just gonna
came
bring this
out.
up. I have black friends that are rappers. I was like, You don't have to say that. You just made it so weird. Oh my god. Yeah, question for the culture. Is it okay for me, a slim white woman, to be a slim and delicate angelic white woman in this world? Is that okay? I was like, Lana, shut the fuck up. Like
I just know one day
shut up.
it's gonna be horrible. I'm gonna wake up. She's gonna be wearing a red hat,
Oh,
and she's gonna
yeah.
say like,
I'm
I
very
hate,
concerned.
or she's just gonna say like, I hate division. I want more unity. She's going to Stagecoach in 2 weekends. I'm on high alert
I know.
because I don't want to. We've been through so much together, and I
was
love
just
her
gonna
so
say,
much.
Mary. Yeah, she's pre-MAGA. She's
But
diet
she's
MAGA
one
for
red
sure.
hat away. Like if she vocalizes it, I will have to.
I know. I'm like, oh god. Yeah, probably by the time we air this episode, it'll be like Lana Del Rey. Yeah,
If
because
Donald
she
Trump
married.
takes Lana Del Rey away from me too, that's
That's the last fucking straw. That's the
I'll be
last
out.
straw. Wait, he's taken so much already. Can we have one thing? Oh my god, I think that alligator guy that she married is a Trump supporter. I was like, that tracks. And also
Jeremy Dunfree.
Yeah, Jeremy.
I do believe.
Oh my god, not you knowing his government.
I'm in pop culture. I have a deep dive on him.
Wow. And his he seems problematic to say the very least, and he's also much older than her. So, oh Lana.
I want to get him some sunscreen so bad. He looks like he's always sunburnt.
Oh yeah, he's so red. Gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wonder in like a parallel universe if Minnie grows up to be Lana Del Rey. Wow.
Del Rey.
No, I really do think it's Hannah Horvath. I think I think that's who she grows up to, I fear.
From the minuscule amount of girls I've seen, that definitely tracks. Here's how I've experienced the TV show Girls, by the way. My roommate and his girlfriend were watching it, and every time I would go into the living room, not the living room, every time I would pass the living room to go into the kitchen, I would like stop in the kitchen and just like stare at them watching Girls for like a month.
It's my favorite TV show of all time.
So that's how I've seen Girls.
Lindsay, do you watch Girls?
I've only seen like the first episode.
You must. And I mean, I watch more TV than anyone I know. I just did like my March count, 28 new shows.
Wow.
In March. And I mean for work, for whatever.
That's a lot of TV, girl.
Nothing has lived up to it. TV and movies. So new media in March.
Okay.
I think
nothing has even touched.
I'm going into it with a little too much judgment, maybe because I am not a very big fan of Lena Dunham.
You gotta put it in a box.
I know.
Take it.
I know.
I don't
Take
know
those feelings. Take those feelings.
I'm a Lena hater as well.
Yeah,
I can't stand that bitch.
Watch me. This is gonna be me 3 weeks from now on my Instagram story defending Lana Del Rey. Put it in a box.
Just put it in a box. Separate the art from the art. Mary, you better have your
red hats off of her.
You better have your speech ready. This girl is about to disappoint you. I'm like so nervous every day, even like having her like songs on like my playlists and stuff. I'm like, is she
It's hard enough having John Mayer as a problematic fave. I cannot enter in.
No, but
it's
that
hard
is
out here. Somehow I ended up like a married Mormon mom of 4, and I do recognize the hypocrisy in a lot of my media choices. But alas, here we are.
See, I mean, but you're like outside of religion, you're a creative person. You're also, you're still a girl. Wow, the Lana Del Rey stuff is fascinating. Thank you for coming with research.
Makes so much sense.
Right? Oh my God, I'm saying you better start looking at her parents' friends. I don't even want to know what happened there. What did you have for us, Lindsay? What did you discover through your research?
Alexander Skarsgård, for the film's premiere, he dressed in drag.
I did not ever see pictures of this.
He looked very cunty.
Really?
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to Google it right now.
It's so disappointing because when the Met Gala had their camp year a couple years
Mhm.
ago, I was like, if there's one man I could depend on, it's gonna be Alexander Skarsgård.
Mhm.
Shows up in a black tux.
Oh,
Camp.
bummer. Oh,
Looked camp.
wow.
Looked camp right in the eye that year.
Oh, I just pulled up the pictures.
Mhm.
You were right. Extremely cunty. He looks like a super tall, like Dolly Parton,
Oh,
Jane
yeah.
Fonda.
Yeah.
Wow, he is giving.
Yeah. He said he wanted to be like Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, that's
He-
that's right.
He's giving Farrah. Whoa. He looks incredible.
Mhm.
Oh, Alex, you scamp. Do you think any of that was kind of like a subconscious like deflection of like, I'm a cool guy. I'm like
maybe.
really I'm like progressive, don't hate me.
Please
Yeah,
put
it's
this
like-
work of mine in a box.
This is a
I'd
job.
rather yeah, it's just a job.
Like, I'm actually
I
really
bet
cool.
you he was kind of yeah, I bet you he was kind of trying to deflect from how disgusting and like horrifying this character is.
And then little do we know, the next year he'd be in Big Little Lies. And
I'm
then just
saying.
horrible man. Then he's in, did you guys ever watch Passing? Where he's just like a
No.
raging racist in that movie.
No,
Like it's one after another after another after another. On Succession,
Mary,
he's Elon Musk.
I stay losing the Skarsgård defense. Bitch, I did not know that.
Yeah. He's always just a villain.
God damn it. Not a racist.
I think
That's like when I found out, this is a slight tangent, but that's like when I found out that Michael Fassbender, who's like one of my celebrity crushes, is in 12 Years a Slave being like horrific. I've never seen that movie. I'm never going to watch that movie. I didn't know he was like the like slave
Yeah.
owner, rapist, whatever the fuck, racist piece of shit stuff. Whatever happens in that movie, I'll never know. But I didn't know it was Michael Fassbender. And Brad Pitt, I think, is in there too. Jesus Christ, I can't.
Brad Pitt just produced it.
Okay,
I don't think he's in it.
I can't do
I
it.
haven't seen that. I saw the movie once, and that was enough.
No, thank you. I'm good.
my other fun fact is where the blowjobs happened, they also had the rap party. Like the cast and crew.
Wait.
Yo. Not them returning to the scene of the crime.
Scene of the crime.
It seems like a much gruntier bar than the other hangout that they go to, like where
I know.
they were like throwing sugar packets at each other and having fun. Like that
Mhm.
seems like a more classy place. I was also wondering, I'm like, in the 70s, was there no like they were always saying like, oh, send Minnie out to like go get drinks, or like Minnie's just like drinking at the bar. Was there...
you could totally do that.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Yep. 100%. You could
My
bring your
goodness.
babies to the bar, you could have your kids drive you home. Yeah, it was a reckless, godless
No man's
time.
land.
There wasn't even seatbelts in cars, so people was just out here doing whatever. But yeah, my aunts and uncles and like friends just like about like a decade older than me, because I was born in the late 80s. So like people who are like born in like mid 70s and like late 70s grew up like going to the grocery store and like buying cigarettes and like beer for their parents. And it was like you would literally, and I vaguely remember this from like the early 90s when I was really little, because like small town, I remember like you would just like, it was like a permission slip.
Mhm.
You would send your kid to the store with like a handwritten note that said, oh, I want like a pack of Marlboro Reds and like a deuce of Bud Light, and they just give it to them and like
That's so crazy.
pin the note to their shirt or whatever and be like, all right, and here's your change. Like
my
go home
gosh.
to your mom.
Just
What
like
the-
3
What?
weeks ago, I was trying to buy Sudafed for myself at Target,
You
and I'm
need
like
your
holding
driver's
my.
license.
I have all 4 kids with me. I'm like
Oh my
holding my
God.
2-year-old. He's freaking out.
Yep.
Rooney, my 4-year-old, she's freaking out. And I'm like
Mhm.
trying to get my ID out and stuff. And I'm like, and I have a stuffy nose. Like I just
Yeah.
want to
I just need
get me out.
decongestant.
I need to be shot. Just kidding.
But yeah, back then it really was
No man's
like
land.
that. Oh yeah, just go to the store, get me some beer.
Mhm.
Insane. Yeah, because the drinking age was 18. until about the time my mom turned 18. So like
Oh wow.
early 80s, mid 80s. Um, yeah, all this stuff that rang very true, especially in like a kind of big, sketchy city like San Francisco.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So what little moments did you love about this work, Mary? I know you've pretty much talked about all of them. Was there anything else you wanted to cover?
Love the music, love the
Mm-hmm.
outfits,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, I just feel like all the performances were so good and there was so much care involved. Where although everything was
Yes.
so nauseating,
It did
I
seem very considered. Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like I could definitely tell that it was like directed by a woman. Like the sex scenes were not exploitative as they could have been. Like if this was in the hands of like Yorgos Lanthimos,
Oh,
this movie would have to be banned. Like
oh,
I would protest.
That's so
Like
true.
oh
I
my
would
God.
I would
That's a
bar
great point.
Mhm.
like I'd bar people from watching it. Like this subject matter in someone else's hands could have been actually nauseating. Where
You really touched on something there. Yes, go
although this
on.
was a hard watch, this was done with careful consideration for the subject matter. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate you saying that because yeah, Lanthimos could never.
Hate
Um,
him.
I can't stand. He's really losing me. We saw Lindsay and I have seen a lot of his movies together,
We've seen
and
like all of them, almost.
oh yeah, we've seen almost all of his movies
I
together.
I walked out of Kinds of Kindness. It was my
Wow,
only
I
it
get
was my
it.
only
I
walkout of
understand.
2024. Girl, we almost did too.
Yeah.
That movie had me sick. Uh, but yeah, oh my God, I hate him. Anyway, so before we go, I just wanted one more thing I wanted to mention as far as like little moments was the Aline Kaminsky character. It's like an artist, I think she's a comic book artist as well, right, Mary, who is Minnie's like idol, her like shining star, her like North Star, her artistic like inspiration. She's like Aline Kaminsky. This is the coolest woman I've ever heard of. I love her art. I love what she's doing. She's my hero. And I think it was really important that that was a part of Minnie's story is like getting to see like that she had a hero and that she had someone that she could look up to who was like I don't know. She needed a good role model in her life.
Yeah.
And I felt like discovering like an artist you love for the first time. I know all three of us have had that experience of like, wow, this woman is so cool. I want to do what she does. And how much I feel like even like the imaginary presence of that character really grounded Minnie.
Mhm.
I only
So I
started
just wanted
laughing
to.
because I was thinking, who was my in high school? Lana Del Rey.
Oh, Mary, please.
No, not really, but I was like, oh yeah, like, who would mine have been like back then? Oh no.
Oh,
That's the only reason I
Lord.
started giggling.
That's so funny.
But yeah, everything you're saying is so true.
Thank you, thank you. So I know you have to get going soon. So, we are gonna go ahead and close this out. Can you recommend some similar works for us? Movies that you think relate to this and have similar themes?
I mean, 13, a very obvious one. Same kind of story, different um like plot devices, you know? Same kind of
Mm-hmm.
like you want to grab this character and run away with them and help them out, you know?
Oh
Perks of Being
yeah.
a Wallflower, also kind of like another obvious comp where he was just I keep saying it like looking for love wherever they can find it, but like
Mm-hmm.
looking for acceptance, looking for um to fit in
Mm-hmm.
and that also a super hard watch, not as hard. Call Me by Your Name again. Hopefully that one
Ooh.
doesn't seem too on the nose, but
Mm-hmm.
and then
Perfect.
a random one I was thinking was Waitress. Have you guys ever seen that one? It's old.
Is
I
it
mean, not old. It's but like at
Carrie
least like
Russell?
yeah, it's like 20 years old. They actually made it into a musical a couple years ago with Sarah Bareilles, and the music to it is like fantastic.
Mm. It's
But
kind of ringing some bell. Is it Steve Martin? Is it Steve Martin?
no,
And
it's can't even, like, other than Carrie Russell, there aren't really that many, like, famous people in it, I don't think.
Okay, then I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah,
This
but
came out in 2007.
it's a
Oh,
really,
no,
really
I
good
haven't seen
one.
this.
And it's the plot is kind of this woman who's in an abusive relationship. She gets pregnant, so she feels like trapped, and then while she's pregnant, she has an affair
Oh
with her
no.
OB, which I know
Oh,
is
that's
kind of
messy.
wild.
That's messy as
But
hell. I want to see that.
yeah, but there are similar moments in that movie where you're wanting her to like make other choices, kind of
Hmm.
like if only we could have you do this and then do this, or she would make a good choice and then it would be like 5 steps back. But there are
Yeah.
also like these moments of clarity in that movie where although she's a lot older than Minnie is in this movie
Hmm.
in Diary of a Teenage Girl, there's still kind of the same like, wow, this girl really pulled through these crazy harsh circumstances. Like
I
I don't know. So
see.
it's a good comp.
Wow. Okay, these are great recommendations. I'm gonna go next. So I had Edge of 17. I think that's starring. I always want to say
Hey,
Hawkeye. Haley Steinfeld.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld. Um, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which was one of the only movies to make me cry in the last like year or two. Um, God, I love that movie so much. 70s coming of age, like discovering her sexuality based off a book as well. Oh, we forgot to mention Diary of a Teenage Girl is also a novel. Um, Lady Bird, come on, Greta
Yep.
Gerwig. Just, I
The
think this
mom
is
and
my
daughter.
oh yeah, the mom and daughter stuff, being an artist and wanting to like escape your hometown kind of stuff. Documenting your every move. I think Lady Bird and Minnie would be friends probably. They feel like they're both in California. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they would be in the same kind of universe. I think that's my favorite coming of age movie. And then a new recommendation I got today from our favorite listener, Kate. Um, she was perusing the Criterion collection and found a French director named Catherine Breillat, who has apparently, I haven't seen any of these yet, but they're all on the Criterion channel. She's made a lot of coming of age movies starring young women discovering themselves. So I'm gonna throw that director out as someone to explore as well. So thank you again to Mary Arndt for being our guest today and lovingly traumatizing us. But now that we've had the chance to speak to you and really hear your thoughts and insight and you just really great analysis of this movie. I think it's definitely you've changed my mind. I think I
Yay!
with a strong trigger warning, I would recommend this movie.
Yes.
So I thank you for coming on and letting us discover something new and bringing such good conversation
No,
to the episode.
I've had so much fun. Thank you so much for having me. Again, I love watching you guys from afar. Hopefully I, bring the podcast back at some point and then can have you guys on.
Oh, that would be
So great.
Oh,
fantastic. We would love
yeah.
to. We love
Well,
covering TV too. We
I
just did
love
an
being a
episode.
silly guest.
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah, we just did an episode on our friends podcast where we covered Community,
Oh, I
and
love it.
oh my God, we
Well,
had a blast. We had a
okay,
blast.
then I hate to say it, but a condition of you guys coming on might be that you have to watch Girls. Sorry. Sorry, but
Oh,
that will have to be
okay.
it.
All right.
I'll do
Challenge
it.
Awesome.
accepted.
Sweet.
You had one more recommendation.
Girl in Progress. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
It's
Tell
a
me about it.
kind of a deep cut,
Yeah.
but it's a mother-daughter kind of coming of age. I think it's probably a little more. Actually, I haven't seen it since I was in high school, but maybe a little more watchable
Oh,
for a
okay.
younger audience.
I see. Okay,
Yeah,
that's actually a good point to bring or that's actually a smart recommendation to allow some younger
I will.
audience.
I would also say I was thinking about this, but Angus Thongs and Perfect Snobbing too.
Oh my God, yeah, I read that book. I think we talked about that when we covered Cheetah Girls, maybe, or something. But
Yeah, maybe.
I can't remember what movie, but I loved that book. Yeah, Girl in Progress came out in 2012.
Oh
So
yeah.
that seems about
And
you
it's got
were
Ava
Ava
Mendes in it.
Mendes. Yeah, I love that. Oh, and Patricia Arquette. And it's about a 14-year-old girl. Okay. Um, I think that's a great recommendation. So definitely add Girl in Progress to our recommendations list.
I would like to thank everyone for listening to this episode. It was really tough watching this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, we got through it though.
Yeah.
We would love to hear your feedback on this episode and every episode at postfilmclaritypod@gmail.com. You can also follow us on all of our socials. We are on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at postfilmclaritypod. Also, for our recommendations list for this episode and for every episode we do, and for fun little lists that we do, and hints onto what we'll be covering in the future, please follow our Letterboxd account, which is Post Film Clarity. And what are we covering? God, we're about to do a live readout of our.
Wow.
So we put up a poll on our IG the other day, because we need to lighten the mood and cover a comedy. So we gave our followers on our IG a chance to vote on the next movie we cover. And drum roll, please.
Oh.
There we go. At 30, I'm gonna kill you. At 37%, the winner of our listener poll is Miss Congeniality.
Woo! Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised. That is some real podcast shit.
Hell yeah.
A poll. Now we're reading it on our podcast. A live reading of a
Listen,
poll.
We have a growing audience and we would like to involve them in the process. So we had 4 choices for big anniversaries, 20, 25 years, 15 years. So we threw some options up and they were Hitch, Bring It On, Miss Congeniality, and Charlie's Angels.
And I want to know why people don't like Hitch, because I love that movie. I think it's such a good rom-com.
Hitch was in a deep last place.
Tell me.
7%. Y'all are not fucking with Hitch. I don't know what Hitch ever did to you. I've never seen it, so I don't really care. But the people, Lindsay was like, "Oh yeah, throw up Hitch." Like, people love the movie. I was like, "Sure." People talk to me about the movie all the time. Yeah, I got 7% of the vote. So,
well, actually, no, it didn't, because I voted for it.
It got
so it's less. It was like 4. It was like 4% before I voted.
So one person who was not Lindsay voted for Hitch. We got a lot of DMs about Bring It On as well. That was in second place with 33%. But the winner is Miss Congeniality. So I think next episode we're gonna cover Miss Congeniality, because we need to lighten this up.
Yeah.
And have a little fun.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh, we love Sandy. What a legend. And this movie, I think this is its, oh my God, is this its 25th anniversary? This is the 25th anniversary of Miss Congeniality.
Right? That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
Could you fact check me real quick?
Yep. 2000.
Oh my God. Fun fact about Miss Congeniality. This was the first movie I ever owned on DVD.
What? That is such a fun fact.
Oh, I loved it. I used to watch this all the time. So yeah, Miss Congeniality it is. Bye, honeys.